We have an update on if Carter Starocci will in fact wrestle at the NCAA tournament, and it comes straight from the source himself.
You are Locked On Nittany Lions, your daily podcast on the Penn State Nittany Lions, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
It's good news if you're a Penn State fan, bad news if you happen to wrestle in the 174-pound weight class. This is Locked On Nittany Lions. Thanks so much for making us your first listen and watch every single day. I'm your host, Zach Seyko. And let me know in the comments what you think about the Carter Starocci situation, as yes, Carter Starocci will wrestle at NCAA's, the NCAA tournament. He posted a follow-up message, a new message to X, formerly known as Twitter. Big Ten title is cool, but NCAA title is cooler. Next chapter, Kansas City also. That's what he was referring to all along, following up his pseudo farewell message to Penn State. Looking forward to a new chapter. Thank you, Penn State forever. Did he have everyone fooled? No. Was he, because we talked about it on this show, that he's probably going to wrestle at NCAA's. Was he trolling, just flat out kidding, lying essentially to draw a reaction? Maybe that's very possible that it could have been the case, because Carter is an entertainer. He likes this. He lives for this, and I respect him for it. But Carter was never going to not wrestle at the NCAA tournament, the biggest tournament of the year in folk style wrestling. But that post, there was more to it than that. It wasn't so much just about the NCAA tournament. I think Carter Starocci does, in fact, intend this season to be his last as a folk style wrestler at Penn State. He'll continue with the wrestling club. He'll compete internationally, Olympics, that kind of thing. Maybe he goes the MMA route, right? I can't speculate on that. But what I do interpret is that this is, in fact, his last season. He'll go for his fourth national title. He'll win his fourth national title, and then that will be it. He walked at senior day. For example, here, Bo Bartlett. Now, some people might say, well, anybody can walk at senior day because he does have the extra eligibility and he'll still come back and use it. Well, Bo Bartlett, similar case, also has the additional eligibility, but did not walk on senior day. He wrestled on senior day, but he didn't walk with the group. He has the eligibility left too. This was also not the first time this season that he has been out of the lineup against his wishes. That's what we've gathered here, is that he wanted to wrestle, he wanted to compete at the Big Ten tournament, but that he was held out against his wishes. Does anyone remember the Michigan dual meet? Similar circumstances here, and we have an interview. He said he was good to go for the Michigan dual meet against Shane Griffith at 174, but he was held out for an illness because he was deemed not to be 100%. So similar situation, different circumstances, right? Hyperextended knee, leg injury versus, I don't want to say the common cold or COVID or the flu, right? We don't know for sure, but an illness. For Carter's perspective, this has to be insanely frustrating for somebody who is the number one wrestler at 174, arguably the best wrestler overall in the country right now. Aaron Brooks might have something to say that, right? The two wrestlers in the, going after the Hodge Trophy and everything. But this has to be frustrating for Carter to be told this, that he can't compete when he sees some of these other things as minor inconveniences, and especially when he's a senior. He's not a freshman anymore. He's not a young wrestler. He is a veteran in the program. I also think, just at this point in time, he's outgrown college wrestling. He's outgrown it. He's the best wrestler in college wrestling. He's just too good for it. That fifth title, it could be appealing. He will truly be all alone, and maybe he could come back for that. He has the eligibility. But to go through a full season, what would that look like? Again, when you know you are the best, under normal circumstances, that fifth title isn't even a possibility. It's not. COVID doesn't happen. Carter and everybody else are still wrestling 4 years, and that's it. You also, your red shirt and everything else, maybe injury circumstances, the injury red shirt, your gray shirt, all your Olympic red shirt. I know wrestling's a little different from football, basketball, but a fifth title does not happen under normal circumstances. So that's why I think there's more to this post than meets the eye. But again, why would Carter or anybody pass up the chance for a fourth title out of 4 opportunities like he has here. I never thought Carter was going to skip out on the NCAA tournament. And I said that in the first instant reaction. Please feel free to go watch or listen to it back. And maybe Cale has a way with words. Who knows, right? His head coach, because that conversation clearly went well, because Carter posted a message implying that he wasn't going to wrestle, that this was a new chapter. And then, hey, we change a little bit of course here. I was on the side that this was a heat of the moment type of thing. And clearly it was, because he's a competitor. He wanted to wrestle in the Big Ten tournament, but after a conversation, now everybody is on the same page that the NCAA title is more important. And that is what Cale said. And we had proof that he left College Park, went back home to State College. That post was registered in State College, Pennsylvania with the location, and then he was not photographed with the team after winning the Big Ten tournament. As far as the winning streak goes, yes, that is good. Like Carter said, yeah, oh, yeah, that's cool and all. The winning streak itself, though, yes, that is cool. 64 longest active winning streak. But who is Carter exactly chasing besides some personal accolades here? Because if you look up the records, 64 in a row is very impressive. But he ain't catching the guy who happens to be his head coach and holds the longest individual winning streak in college wrestling history at 159. Cale Sanderson, who went 159-0. And then, okay, what about a Penn State record? Well, he's probably not going to reach that either. Because, well, he definitely isn't now because the 64 is over. But Zane Rutherford had 95. That would have been tough to do. He would have truly had to wrestle a full season and then some and come back for that 5th campaign. Cale made the right call. Cale absolutely made the right call. There was no point of re-aggravating this injury when there was more on the line. They didn't need him at the Big Ten tournament. They need him at the NCAA tournament because they're chasing records. They can break records. They need him in the lineup to do that, and he can make history of his own and join in a very exclusive club, one of which Cale Sanderson is in, of winning 4 national titles in 4 chances alone. Now, I want to respond to the comments as well. The comment section was very alive and well, and I appreciate the additions to the conversation. I'll talk about that more on the other side of this break. Today's episode is brought to you by eBay Motors. Passion, drive, and patience. What brings home the winning trophy is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to its peak performance. From superchargers to roof racks to exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more, whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has got you covered. And with over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to turn your car into the MVP and bring home that win. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. That's ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit, only available to U.S. customers. Today's episode is also brought to you by FanDuel, the official sportsbook of Locked On. Say goodbye to busted brackets because FanDuel lets you bet on every game this tourney. Whether you're betting on a big upset or on a 1 seed, it's time to go dancing on America's number one sportsbook, FanDuel, because right now new customers will get $200. That's right, $200 in bonus bets. If your first $5 bet is a winner, it's that simple. You can turn $5 if that wins into $200. That's $200 in bonus bets to use on point spreads, money lines, totals. You can even pick who's going to win it all. Just visit FanDuel.com/lockedon. That is FanDuel.com/lockedon and bet on college hoops until they cut the nets down. The Locked On Podcast Network has launched the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel on YouTube, and now it's available on Amazon Fire TV in the free Fire TV Channels app. Locked On Sports Today is here for you 24/7, covering the top sports stories of the day with the local experts of Locked On, plus the national shows covering each and every league. Find Locked On Sports Today on YouTube and now available in the free Fire TV Channels app. And if you're not already, become an everyday or subscribe to Locked On Nittany Lions on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts for the latest conversations around your favorite Penn State sports teams, of course, football, men's basketball, wrestling, men's hockey, recruiting, all of that is here on Locked On Nittany Lions. I want to talk about the comment section, and I appreciate your feedback. I really do. The comment, especially when you add to the conversation, right? But I did think that some people had interesting thoughts, ideas about this situation. And please, I want you to contribute them again under this show as well. But was this NIL related? No, I don't think this was NIL related whatsoever. Carter Starocci, holding out for more NIL money? I saw something about a bigger apartment. Carter has all the money he needs, and he is going to be set up very well, very handsomely after he's done wrestling collegiately. Again, whether that has to do anything with Olympics, MMA, he's going to be a professional competitor of some sort. He is truly a master of his craft. He is going to be fine. He is not wanting for money. NIL is not an issue for him. There was the comparison to Nick Suriano, and I thought that was warranted. Suriano stated that he transferred out of Penn State based on, not because of this directly tied to Carter Starocci, but if you listen to what Suriano said when he left Penn State, was that these were similar complications, that he didn't like the way that his ankle injury was handled, and that's why he left. So this is very similar. He didn't like the way that his injury was handled. Carter Starocci probably doesn't like the way this situation is being handled either. He's not going to enter the transfer portal and leave Penn State because of it, but both can be in a similar circumstance where, hey, I want to wrestle. I don't like how this is being handled. You can have that opinion. That is not a criticism of how Carter feels about this. Then there's the doctor element too, the medical element. The doctors are intentionally holding him out. I believe it's a combination of everything. The doctors make a medical evaluation, talk to the coaching staff. This isn't just an independent Carter, Cale Sanderson, the doctors. One party isn't making the full decision. The doctors evaluate. Carter tells them how he feels. Cale Sanderson and the coaching staff get together, and then they make a decision based on that discretion. It's an all-encompassing thing here. So if one piece of the puzzle doesn't fit, Carter or anybody else is not going to wrestle. This isn't just specific to Carter Starocci. This is for anybody that's on the team. And I did not jump the gun, right? That yes, this was a lot of speculation. I understand that. But I relayed to all of you to what Carter had posted to his social media. I thought it was a selfish post because it was. His teammates were still competing. The Big Ten tournament was not over. A little bit different, not as outlandish, but still a little bit different if it comes after the Big Ten tournament, but it didn't. It came in the middle of the competition. And then I said that he would wrestle at NCAAs, but not after he wins his 4th national title. I think that he will be finished after this postseason wrestling collegiately folk style for Penn State. But I said that he would wrestle at NCAAs. This does not come at a surprise to me. So, hey, look, I see all of your comments. I do, and I appreciate all of them, especially the thoughtful ones that actually contribute to the conversation. But this is what it is all about. This is what this show is for. The best wrestler in Penn State's lineup, Aaron Brooks, right? 1A, 1B, right? And put that in the comments, right? Who do you think's the better overall wrestler, Brooks or Starocci? But when the best wrestler, arguably the best wrestler in Penn State's lineup in the country, implies that he is moving on before the biggest tournament of the collegiate wrestling season, yeah, I'm going to talk about it. I am. I think some people might be confused as far as the purpose of this show. I was not reporting anything about Carter Starocci and never claimed to. What I was doing was analyzing the situation, analyzing the news that was reported. Carter Starocci makes a post. There were other things about how he left State College. He was supposed to wrestle. His family and friends were in town. I didn't come up with any of that. I was presenting that to you and analyzing that information specifically. So yes, these specific episodes about Carter Starocci and this whole situation are based on speculation because that is all we had. There was no hard news from this. No one knew what was truly going on except Carter Starocci and Cale Sanderson and probably his teammates as well. But that is the point, to have these conversations about your favorite Penn State sports teams, the high-profile athletes on these teams, and to interpret the news, the rumors, the reports themselves and speculate, yes, and have conversations and analysis centered around all of it to provide context in some of these instances that truly lack them. And I want to give that back to an audience that I truly appreciate all of you. I really do. Every single one of you, all the support for this channel, podcast platforms on YouTube. Thank you so much. And that's what I want to be able to provide to all of you: context, conversations around Penn State athletics. If you like this show, I would appreciate if you like the episode, share it with friends and family, be active in the comments section, subscribe, become an everydayer if you're not already, for daily episodes around more than just football. Men's basketball, wrestling, men's hockey, recruiting, you name it. It is here on Locked On Nittany Lions.